wamefanya bidii na wameongeza hata ile mahali wanatumia kuzalisha chakula ekari 1200 mpya, na saa hizi tukiwa hapa tunatarajia chakula ya ajabu kutoka mashambani kwetu. Mimi nawaambia wakulima asante sana kwa kurudi shambani, na wajue ya kwamba serikali ya Kenya itasimama kidete pamoja na wao. Tumekubaliana pia na governors wetu ya kwamba hiyo mbolea ambayo tumepunguza gharama yake tunataka ifike kwa wakulima. Hatutaki wakulima waendee hiyo mbolea mbali, tunataka iletwe karibu na wakulima wetu. Ile ya Shamata ikuje mpaka hapa Shamata. Tunaelewana? Kazi yangu ni kuleta hiyo mbolea kutoka mahali inatoka kule Europe na mahali ingine, nilete mpaka hapa Nyandarua. Kazi ya kusukuma kutoka Nyandarua mpaka Shamata ni kazi ya gavana, na tumekubaliana. Si tunagawana kazi ama namna gani? So tumekubaliana hiyo mbolea ifike hapa, na tumekubaliana pia hatutaki brokers na hatutaki watu wa katikati. Tunataka mkulima apate mbolea bila ya kusumbuliwa. Tumekubaliana? Na ndio sababu hiyo tumeanzisha kusajili wakulima tena. Hapa Nyandarua tunataka kila mkulima ambaye unahitaji mbolea ujiandikishe, tutakupatia mbolea ile unataka. Kama unataka gunia 2 tutakupatia 2. Kama unataka 100 tutakupatia 100. Ukiweka kichwa sufuria, bei ya unga itapungua namna gani? So nimeambia watu wacheni kusumbua wananchi na maandamano na ujinga. Sisi turudi mashambani, tuzalishe chakula, tupunguze gharama ya maisha, Kenya iweze kwenda mbele na tuondoe aibu ya njaa katika taifa letu la Kenya. Waliletea fujo Moi mpaka wakapata cooperation. Wakakuja wakasumbua Kibaki mpaka wakachukua nusu mkate. Wamekuja wakazungusha Uhuru hapo mpaka wakaenda na handshake, program yetu ikapotea, BBI ikaendelea, tukazama, tukaingia kwa madeni. Sasa mimi nimewaambia, hii serikali hii, mimi nawaambia hii serikali ni ya mahasla. Hakuna nusu mkate, hakuna handshake, hakuna hiyo borojo. Hawa wananchi walimaliza kazi ya viongozi tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8, wakagawa viti yote. Viti ya viongozi ilimalizika tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8. Wale wakupata MCA walipata. Wale wakupata bunge, wale wakupata sijui governor, wale wakupata rais imeisha. Ama kuna kiti mulibakisha? Si viti mulimaliza, muligawa ikaisha. Sasa ile kazi imebakia ni kazi ya
Humphrey Mulongo has been sworn into office as the new Commissioner General of the Kenya Revenue Authority after his appointment by Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u in a Gazette notice issued on Tuesday evening. Mulongo, who has taken office after James Mburu was forced out at the end of the regime of former President Uhuru Kenyatta, and has vowed to streamline KRA and ensure that officials are effective in service delivery.
I, Humphrey Mulongo, having been appointed as the Commissioner General of the Kenya Revenue Authority, do swear that I will be true and faithful to the best of my ability and power in the execution of the trust committed to my charge and inspection in the service of the Kenya Revenue Authority, and that I shall not acquire, take or receive any fee, gratuity or reward, whether pecuniary or in any sort of description whatsoever, either directly or indirectly, for any service, act, duty, matter, or thing done or performed, or to be done or performed in the execution or discharge of any of the duties of my office or employment on any account whatsoever, other than my salary and my allowances, or as may be allowed by law in writing. And I shall not divulge or give out any document or information to any person, nor permit access by unauthorized persons, save as permitted by law.
Well, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki has vowed to clean up Nyayo House, stating that it will be sealed off and marked as a scene of crime. Kindiki has confirmed that the passport issuance and printing has been marred by corruption. While appearing before the National Assembly Regional Integration Committee, Kindiki has confirmed that there are officers taking bribes instead of serving Kenyans for free.
Don't have appropriations in aid. It was generating a lot of income, but it goes to treasury, and they are left there. They can't buy even a printer worth 100 million, yet they are producing nearly 20 billion a year. So we have got some appropriations in aid now. We are increasing the capacity, and I believe by the next, when I give my next public accountability statement in a month's time, I will have reports on where we are. We will clear that backlog, and we will turn, while the ID might take up to 21 days because of maybe special security procedures, the passport must take 7 days.
Still with the Interior CS, now Kindiki has said that by November 1st, roadblocks will be phased out and replaced with patrol officers. Kindiki noted that roadblocks have been serving security purposes and should be ejected or erected based on security needs. Kindiki emphasized the use of technology for road safety and surveillance, reducing the need for physical checks. According to the Interior Cabinet Secretary, these measures aim to enhance operational efficiency and overall safety.
We are going to open up 6 security roads in Lamu immediately. Number 2, we are going to draw a cut line, because some of the problems are being caused by people who have encroached into the body forest. We say whoever is inside certain coordinates must leave. We've been able to recover in excess of 200 firearms voluntarily surrendered. We have deliberately delayed a forceful disarmament for strategic reasons, but we will get there because we believe there are many more illegal arms in the hands of unauthorized people in that area. Places that we gazetted as disturbed and dangerous are remote, isolated, difficult terrain, inaccessible spaces. We did not gazette ordinary and habitual places of residence. I have instructed the Regional Commissioner of Rift Valley and the Regional Commissioner of Nyanza and their teams. The 6 outstanding heads of cattle must be recovered. If they are not recovered, then someone must take responsibility for it. We are eventually going to get rid of all roadblocks of whatever nature by 1st of November.
Now let's take a look at what is making headlines across the newspapers. I've got the Daily Nation, the Standard and the Star with me. Quite interesting headlines that are being put up on the newspapers. So I'd love to kick it off with the Daily Nation on something that it's not the first time we've had about it, at least. How state officials fed you bogus rice. How state officials fed you bogus rice. A scam, question mark. On August 31st last year, as the country was glued to the Supreme Court presidential election petition, the Anti-Counterfeit Authority seized a consignment of counterfeit rice in Mombasa. But days later, a curious deal between rival traders saw the government agency authorize release of fake rice into the market. Now, the number of bags of counterfeit Pearl biryani rice confiscated and then was released later on was about 10,000 bags. And this is estimated to be worth about 150 million Kenyan shillings. Now, that is a story that is on page 7 of the Daily Nation. Investigation is underway. As the Director of Criminal Investigations, DCI, has taken up the matter after it was dropped by the Anti-Counterfeit Authority. Now, the shipment from Pakistan comprised of more than 10,000 bags of rice packaged as a popular brand called Pearl, and estimated to be worth 150 million shillings, except the rice that was stored was not Pearl rice, but an unidentified rice and a not so well-known brand, and it was counterfeit. Some of the rice was already retailing in the market by the time the authority flagged the fake goods and had gotten wind of the bogus consignment on July 27th of 2022. The agency had been tipped off by the Thika-based food maker Couple Industries Limited that had discovered the bogus rice in market bearing its brand. But that's not the point. The point is that two state officials and two farms okayed the sale of that particular counterfeit of rice, and it could be that somebody has already consumed that particular rice in Mombasa, because this was a consignment that was flagged up or flagged off last year within the September period, which was when the country was listening into the presidential election petition. Now, this is not the first time that the Anti-Counterfeit Authority is on the spotlight over counterfeit goods. There was also the contraband sugar that was released to the market where people were consuming contraband sugar. And now we're talking about counterfeit rice. And so, acting on the tip-off, the officials raided the go-down in Mombasa last year and impounded the remaining stock of the counterfeit rice. However, a few days later, state officials and two key farms okayed the release of that particular rice back to the market. And now the DCI have taken up that case and are investigating on just who was responsible for releasing this particular brand of rice to the market, and if so, was it given a go-ahead by the Kenya Bureau of Standards, that is KEBS, which is responsible for ensuring that what we consume on the market is something that is right and has no harmful risks for that matter, to the general public. So that is the story that is on top of the page of the Daily Nation this morning. Now, Teacher Service Commission to promote 36,000 teachers as pay talks resume next week. The Teacher Service Commission is set to promote 36,000 teachers as pay talk resumes next week. The TSC will advertise 36,000 vacancies for teachers promotion. This comes after salary increment talks collapsed. Revealed secrets of Ruto and Raila talks with the former Nigerian president, a story that is on page 4. Secrets revealed of Ruto and Raila talks with the former Nigerian president. Now, we revealed the reason President William Ruto gave opposition leader Raila Odinga and former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo for his insistence that the cost of living cannot be discussed, a story that is on page 4. So what have the issues or what has the team agreed on, the bipartisan team, the 10-member team that is currently set to start the talks again today? So what have they agreed on? One, the reconstitution of the IEBC is an agenda that is on top of the table. Two, boundaries delimitation. They're supposed to review, perhaps increase the number of constituencies or increase the number of counties in the country. But that is a work that is solely left to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is IEBC. So we're looking at a step where they have to reconstitute the IEBC first, because at the moment, no commissioner is in place. And then after reconstituting the IEBC, well, they can now talk about the boundaries delimitation. One more issue is the entrenchment of the official leader of the Office of the Opposition and the Office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary. So what we'll see is we'll have an official office of the leader of the opposition, and this is, of course, basically we're looking at, a referendum so that people can vote on it, on whether they want this particular office of the opposition. Entrenchment of the National Government CDF, as well as the creation of the National Government Affirmative Action Fund and Senate Oversight Fund. Now, as I've read here, you've not had me talk about the high cost of living because it's not one of the issues that have been agreed on just yet, despite the fact that the opposition say, top of the agenda should be the high cost of living. And just how will they be able to cushion, the government, will they be able to cushion Kenyans from the rising cost of living? So the technical team has agreed on the broader agenda of the talks. We'll be looking forward to see how the issue of the high cost of living will be tabled, and if it will not be tabled, then what next? Also, top of the page, Ruto warning over Hustler Fund default. The president has cautioned defaulters will not access new state loans until they repay their debts, and nearly all borrowers have failed to repay mobile phones loan despite being offered a 50% cut. And then on matters health, a report indicates female genital mutilation, FGM, is the leading killer among young girls. Now to the Standard, no university fee. Here's your answer. Big relief for parents and their students who are due to report to public universities for their first year. As it emerged, they will not be sent away for school fees, and that opening dates will be flexible to allow learners to join the institution. Universities and colleges shall admit all 2022 KCSE students as placed by the Kenya University Colleges and Central Placement Service, pending processing of funding requests. That is, those awards by the Education Cabinet Secretary, Ezekiel Machogo. So there was a new education funding model that has caused quite an uproar amongst Kenyans, or largely parents, because it sounds like a self-relief for a lot of universities or institutions where, the comprehensive school fees is placed on that particular school fees form, and you're able to see what costs how much. And we're looking at courses that cost an average of about 300,000 Kenyan shillings, others are 100,000 Kenyan shillings per academic year. So if you're having a course that is costing the parent about 120,000 shillings per academic year, for the 4 years they will be doing that degree course, they will have to part with 600,000 Kenyan shillings. But please do note this. This is not just the amount the parents will pay. There's also the government funding, where you have to apply for government funding. The government caters for part of that particular school fees, or if not, then there's the help loan that you can apply, but there's also the bursaries. But we're looking at bursaries where the CDF bursaries for colleges, or at least universities, cost about 10,000 shillings. How many do they give out per year? That should be the question. But reprieve for students in varsity admissions, as the government, or at least through the CS for Education, Ezekiel Machogo, has said that students should report and they will not be sent home for school fees. So the scholarships and the loans is something that parents also need to apply, but there's also a criteria of how they will be giving out these loans. Are you a student from a vulnerable household? Are you a student that is extremely needy? Are you a student that is needy? Are you a student that is less needy? Or are you just an overall student? So that is the criteria that they will be using to give out these scholarships and loans. I'll take that again. Are you a student from a vulnerable household? Are you a student from an extremely needy family? Are you a student from a needy family? Are you a student from a less needy family? Or are you an overall student? And that is where the government support will come in, depending on just what criteria you fall in. Also, top of the page of the Standard, Hustler loans, Ruto shock warning to defaulters, says if you default on paying your loans, you will not be able to access any other state loan until you pay your debt. Also, Japan, China clash over nuclear water. That is from the World News. Japan's controversial discharge of treated wastewater from Fukushima nuclear plant into the Pacific Ocean sparks regional protests and retaliation from Beijing. Falling tray for Ruto's new taxman, that is Humphrey Watanga Mulongo, as he was sworn in as the new Kenya Revenue Authority Commissioner General, and he took out of office at the Supreme Court. He faces a full entry as government moves to increase its revenues. In other words, he will be the man at the center of implementing these new tax measures that have been put up in place, but also taking responsibility for all revenue that comes into the government and also ensuring that the revenue target set by the government is achieved. The Star, Kindiki cartels hijack supply of passports. The cabinet secretary says he's received credible intel that graft is contributing to delayed processing. We're looking at cases and scenarios of complaints from Kenyans that particular house, Nyayo House, that deals with passports, well, it is a rogue place or a rotten place, as the allegations that there are persons that, you know, are taking in bribes to the tunes of 10,000 shillings or 15,000 shillings for them to process your passport faster. And now CS for Interior, Professor Kithure Kindiki says we are going after Nyayo House passport cartels. The delay of passports, what is causing that? Is it something that is avoidable? Those are some of the issues that he or the ministry will have to look at. And he says, you know, that particular place is a crime scene. The CS tells members of parliament he'll take leadership in cleaning up the mess at Nyayo House. Also top of the page, how they turned up at the Ma Cultural Festival 2023, all dressed in Maasai culture regalia. President William Ruto, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. Well, you be the judge. Perhaps also vote for who dressed better than the other as they attended the Ma Cultural Festival, which comes to a close this week. Damming report, grave danger, poor dam work puts lives at risk. An audit report has shown. Cabinet Secretary directs universities to admit first-year students, whether with fees or no school fees. Hits and misses, Sakaja is winning, but the city remains dirty 1 year on. And those are the stories that are making headlines across the newspapers this morning. The Star, Kindiki cartels hijack supply of passports. The Standard talks about no university fee. Here's your answer. And how state officials fed you bogus rice, an investigative piece that has been done by the Daily Nation. And those are your headlines.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
Through the morning rush and the buzz, find the voice you can trust, a voice of reason, a voice of direction, and a voice of hope.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Live. I'm Cynthia Nanjala.
And I'm Samia Dika. Rise and shine, folks. We hope you are ready for an energizing start to your day.
Absolutely. We are here to bring you the latest headlines and trending news stories from the world of politics,
Business and finance, health and lifestyle,
agriculture and sports.
So grab your coffee, sit back and get ready for a fantastic morning of engaging discussions and news segments.
Join us through our social media handles, #The Morning Live. This is Morning Live, exclusively on EBN TV.
Every Saturday from 8:30 a.m.
But we should not be afraid to interpret scripture.
Get to know the story behind the Bible. Why was it written? To whom was it written? And what was happening when it was written? Understand, get to know, learn how to properly interpret the scriptures so that you're not deceived.
In the book of Revelation, and we have started to enter into the happenings because these are things that are going to take place hereafter.
Join Pastor Felix Kavoy and his team as they go through the different books of the Bible and give you the theological interpretation of the same.
At the very introduction of the book of Revelation, the book lays clear what is contained in here.
Every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. on The Theology Show, only on EBN, transforming your world.
With great love and joy, I specially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
In a fast-paced world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your relationship with God. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we take you on a transformative journey of building your faith, without which it's impossible to please God. A journey of introspection and discovery of who you are in Christ Jesus.
For you to walk with God, you should not crumble when you come under pressure. Kama umeokoka, sema umeokoka mpaka mbele ya president, mpaka mbele ya chief justice, mpaka mbele ya kila mtu. Hiyo ndio kuokoka ya ukweli. Kuokoka ya ukweli.
Enjoy a faith-filled environment of worship and ministry of the Word every Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 a.m. with Reverend Felix Kavoy, exclusively on EBN TV. Through the morning rush and the buzz, find a voice you can trust, a voice of reason, a voice of direction, and a voice of hope.
Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Live. I'm Cynthia Nanjala.
And I'm Samia Dika. Rise and shine, folks. We hope you are ready for an energizing start to your day.
Absolutely. We are here to bring you the latest headlines and trending news stories from the world of politics,
Business and finance, health and lifestyle,
agriculture and sports.
So grab your coffee, sit back and get ready for a fantastic morning of engaging discussions and news segments.
Join us through our social media handles, #The Morning Live. This is Morning Live, exclusively on EBN TV.
In a fast-paced world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your relationship with God. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we take you on a transformative journey of building your faith, without which it's impossible to please God. A journey of introspection and discovery of who you are in Christ Jesus.
For you to walk with God, you should not crumble when you come under pressure. Kama umeokoka, sema umeokoka mpaka mbele ya president, mpaka mbele ya chief justice, mpaka mbele ya kila mtu. Hiyo ndio kuokoka ya ukweli. Kuokoka ya ukweli.
Enjoy a faith-filled environment of worship and ministry of the Word every Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 a.m. with Reverend Felix Kevoy, exclusively on EBN TV.
That is the word of the Lord today.
Watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
From Nairobi, Kenya, this is EBN TV.
Every Saturday from 8:30 a.m.
But we should not be afraid to interpret scripture.
Get to know the story behind the Bible. Why was it written? To whom was it written? And what was happening when it was written? Understand, get to know, learn how to properly interpret the scriptures so that you're not deceived.
In the book of Revelation, and we have started to enter into the happenings because these are things that are going to take place hereafter.
Join Pastor Felix Kevoy and his team as they go through the different books of the Bible and give you the theological interpretation of the same.
At the very introduction of the book of Revelation, the book lays clear what is contained in here.
Every Saturday from 8:30 a.m. on The Theology Show, only on EBN, transforming your world.
With great love and joy, I specially welcome you to worship with us at Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu. This is a true family church, a true spiritual home. Redeemed Gospel Church Buruburu is home to exuberant prayers, deep and true worship. A house of prayer that will leave you feeling refreshed. Our first service starts at 7:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. and our second service starts at 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have our midweek service from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and every Friday from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. we have our night of glory. This is the church you have been looking for. This is the place for your spiritual growth and maturity. See you this Sunday and karibu sana.
Well, good morning and welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching Morning Live. It is about 45 minutes past the hour mark. We are glad you're still here. Now, as we began this broadcast, I mentioned about special effects makeup. This is something that probably you've seen it, you just didn't realize it's special makeup because it is all over across the movie industry, across the film industry. So it is something that you've seen. So there are people that actually do that for a living. And that is why it is important for us to have this conversation so that you understand what it is and just how unique of an art it is and why it is on the rise, particularly now that, you know, the film industry in the country is also on the rise. So my guest is here in studio who does it for a living. She is a special effects makeup artist. Her name is Stacy Gishinju. And karibu sana.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Feel at home.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Yeah, so this is something that is quite unique. And I know we'll get to just how it all started, but we'd love to know you a little bit more better from a personal point of view.
Okay, my name is Stacy.
Yes.
Stacy Wanja Gishinjo. I am 26 years old. I'm the last born.
Yeah.
I have to include that. I'm the last born. I love cooking.
Yeah.
I love makeup. I love eating.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Girl, we're the same. Yeah. So, you know, I'm looking at, you know, you're 26 now, but there's a point that this whole, you know, idea of makeup really started.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it wasn't just special effects directly, you know,
No,
you had
no.
to start with the other normal makeup. So
Yeah.
we'd love to know the how and the when this all started.
So growing up, I've
Yeah.
always been the kind of kid who used to love makeup, lipstick, eyeliner, eye pencil.
Yeah.
In high school, we'd smuggle in ponds.
Yeah.
They used to be called pods back then. Then later on, I think around 2016, I started taking an interest in it, but I didn't go professional.
Yeah.
I was just doing it at home. When I'm going somewhere, I do my makeup, people are complimenting me. So yeah, I didn't know I would do that as a professional thing.
Yeah.
So in 2021 is when I decided to go and improve my skills. I started off with YouTube tutorials.
Yeah.
Then I went to improve my skills, and I went to some beauty school called Mwaju Chucks, which was in September to October of 2021.
Yeah.
That's when I finished my the normal makeup course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the normal makeup course, you know, you've basically had an interest in it right from when you were young.
Yes.
So it was easier for you to actually just do normal makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now transitioning to now special effects, you know, you're just used to applying an eyeliner this way, basics and all that. But then special effects is something unique. It needs more creativity, needs more brain actually. So you can explain to us about that transition now.
Okay, so when I finished the professional bit of the normal makeup, I expected I would like get jobs flooding in, you know, but then everyone is doing makeup now. So I decided, I thought, what will make me stand out from the rest, you know, because when you go and try and look for a job, everyone is like, but also this one is doing makeup, also this one is doing makeup, what is going to make you stand out? So I also have a history of loving horror films, and I used to be fascinated by those, the cuts, the bruises, everything. So I did my research. I went on online, I went on YouTube. I didn't even know there was something like special effects. Yeah, but then when I did my research and I'm like, oh, this is something I would be interested in doing. So I had to look up for a place where I could learn, and then that was also a very big challenge because it's not a very, very common thing, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So it was a difficult thing to get at school, but my friend hooked me up with someone called Grizel. She's the one who took me through the course of special effects, which was in 2021 December to 2022 Jan. Yeah.
So you say it's not a common thing. So, you know, were you the only student she was taking through? How many were you?
I was alone in class.
Wow. Wow.
I was alone in class.
Yeah. So now that you've been in it for about 2 years now.
Yeah. I just reached my 1 year mark in June.
June this year.
Yeah.
So basically that's been 1 year now.
Yeah.
Is it something that you say now a lot of people are now embracing?
Yeah.
They say, oh, this is something that I would love to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. How has the response been like?
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. Every time I post something, people are like, oh my, is this real?
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact, my small cousins, the first time they saw one wound I did, they cried and they called me. asking what happened to you, what happened to you, but then I had to tell them it's makeup. So right now they've already gotten used to it. Yeah.
So this is something that wouldn't really be on a normal beauty salon shop or, you know, a normal workplace. It requires special projects or special sets that you need to work on.
Yeah.
So what are some of these projects that we've managed to work on or you're currently working on? Yeah.
I didn't even think I would get into the film industry. But then, you remember the teacher I told you taught me makeup? A friend of hers was looking for an assistant. So she's like, I have a student of mine who does both makeup and SFX. So she hooked me up with a special person called Pambumel. Pambumel introduced me into the film industry. My first film was last year in around April, which was Click Click Bang. Yeah.
The famous Click
Click Bang. That was my debut in the film industry. Then after that, a day after we wrapped Click Click Bang, I got called to Pepeta. Pepeta after that took me all the way to almost wrapping the year. Then after that, a friend of mine called me for Maisha Magic thing. A movie was called Zuka. Yeah, and then after that, I went on to do, it's yet to be released. It's called Volume the Series, which will be coming on Netflix this year. Yeah, and I'm currently on a project which, of course, I can't mention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting that.
Yeah.
So take me back to to your debut now on Click Click Bang. You know, it is just you. You know, you're the SFX makeup artist that we've brought on set.
Yeah.
My God, how are you feeling?
I was nervous. I was very nervous, but then Pambumel was there telling me, this is going to be something fun. It's something you enjoy doing. So the first day was a bit tense, but then after I got the hang of it, it just started coming to me naturally. And then I also felt very challenged because you understand in school, you can't be taught everything.
For sure.
Yeah, so some of the things you have to learn along the way. So that challenged me. Director comes, he says, I want you to do this. It's something I've never done, but I can't tell him I've never done. So I go, when I finish the day, I go at home, research it, do practical on myself. Tomorrow I show up at work and no one will know I didn't know I couldn't do that wound.
So it's also research. It's basically learning that evolves daily.
Yes. You slack a little, you are left behind. You have to keep on doing research because makeup is evolving each and every single day.
Yeah.
Now,
what were you making on your first set? You know, what was the assignment?
It involved a scar on the face, gunshot wounds. Those were the main ones. Yeah.
So, no, this is special effects, and of course, it might require much more makeup than, you know, the normal makeup. So, what are some of these differences that you can pinpoint? Of course, we know basically from the physical look of it, it will be different. But there are also other key aspects, maybe financially, what more needs to be bought than the normal makeup. So, if you could take us through the differences between these two types of makeup.
The difference is, it's not a big difference. Makeup is generally expensive, both normal makeup and SFX, but special effects is a bit more expensive because we don't have products locally. So you have to ship them.
So you ship your products?
No, I buy them from someone. Yeah, I buy them from someone, but also them, they have to ship. So you have to place an order. It takes like maybe 2 weeks. So that's a bit challenging for us right now. Also, for normal makeup, you're just enhancing the looks of someone. For SFX, you have to go crazy.
Ballistic.
Yes, the more real it looks, the more good it looks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, you know, have there been instances where, you know, you felt like this really didn't come out as I wanted it to come out? You know, it doesn't really look like a gunshot wound. You know, are there instances that you felt that?
There are such days. There are such days, especially on set, because set time is money. So everything is fast. So sometimes these wounds take time, but then you don't have enough time. So you just end up doing something. It's not really bad. Personally, I'm a very big overthinker, so sometimes I overthink and think and see like, this one is not good. But then when it goes on air and I watch my work and I'm like, that was good. Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of people that I've met within the media or film industry really don't love watching their work. You know, they feel like, oh, you know, I should have done this, I should have done that. So how does watching some of the work you've done help you be better?
It feels good. It feels good watching my work. Sometimes I watch just to know where to correct next time. Sometimes I watch because I want to see what other people are seeing apart from what I saw when I was on ground. It feels good. It feels good to see people appreciate your work when you get DMs, when you it's not for some professions, it's not a good thing getting a bad comment. But for me, when I get a bad comment, I feel good, because when you tell me that was too gory, for me that makes me feel good, because I achieved, I achieved what I wanted. Yeah.
So you said, you know, you learned through social media, or YouTube, for lack of a better word. And we're living in an era where social media is such a big platform. Unaweza umokea to social media. A lot of people have had say that. So now integrating now what you do with social media together to ensure that you're also, you know, you're also your own marketer. You don't have to wait for somebody to market you, but you're also your own marketer. So how has social media played a role for you as a special effects makeup artist?
For me, most of my jobs, I get them through social media. Yes, I normally do looks. I post them on my Instagram page. Someone will come visit my page. They'll be impressed. They'll DM me. Then that's how I get the jobs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how is your social media doing? You know, how has the feedback been?
My social media is everything. My social media is everything. Yeah. I really love doing what I'm doing right now. It's my first year, but I got 2 nominations already. Wow. One was Women in Film, which was this year. Last year, Click Click Bang won Best Makeup Artist. So in Kalasha.
Yeah. So this is something that is actually being recognized. And there are awards for it. And you know, back then, like 10 years ago, makeup wasn't such a big thing, particularly in Kenya, because people just thought, you know, there's no way you'll go to school to study and be a makeup artist. You need you to be engineers and lawyers. So now, actually putting in mind that this is your career, this is something that should put food on your table, how hard has it made you to work now?
First, let me say, before makeup, I used to be in sales and marketing.
Oh, really?
Yes, I used to be in sales and marketing, but then when I got to this other side, I think I enjoy it more on this other side. So it pushes you. Like I said, when you slack a little, you get left behind. Someone else is doing research, so you have to keep up. And the more you keep up, the more your work is being recognized, the more you get gigs, and the more the money keeps coming in.
So you left sales and marketing completely?
Yes.
Oh my God. And this is something you went to school to study for?
Yes.
Your parents, you know, what do they think about it?
If I'm doing good, then they're okay.
They're okay with it.
And it's something I'm passionate about. If you're passionate about something, you're going to give it your all.
So now I'm looking at, you've just been in it for 1 year. You're doing good, 2 nominations. You've worked on various sets. You know, I was going through your social media. You've worked with amazing actors in the industry. And this, you know, this is a motivation. You want to do better. You want to do more. So if you look at maybe next year, a time like now, you know, where do you see yourself?
I think I want to do a movie in South Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they really have, the SFX is really nice, also Nigeria, but I really dream of going to Hollywood. The DMs I keep on getting, oh, Kenya, you deserve to be in Hollywood, and I think it's really, really possible.
Do you think that's like the big, you know, stepping stone for a lot of showbiz business industry? Is that like now the goal? If you get to Hollywood, you've made it.
Well, I would like to think so, but then there's also something here in Kenya. There's also something here in Kenya.
So have you met people your kind who do SFX makeup, and you're just able to share, you know, the challenges?
Most of the times when something is difficult for me, I hit up my friend, I hit up my teacher. She's always taking, even 1 year after I finished school, she still takes me through some lessons, because again, you can't know everything, and I'm still also on the path of perfection, so I have to consult.
All right, so as we wind this part of the interview, because I want, when we come back after the break, I'd love us to do a sample. And you know, it can be so real, because I think people meet these things often in movies, but they just don't understand this is it.
Yeah.
So would love to show people that now this is it. This is what we mean when we're saying the special effects makeup. But as we wind up this part of the interview, what more can you tell somebody who's watching and is very much interested, not even in SFX makeup, but just makeup, but they feel like, you know, there's so many makeup artists, what's going to be so unique about me? What are some of these things that they need to understand about themselves first before they get into it?
You have to understand that the makeup market is big enough for everyone. Yeah, just go for it. Do not just sit at home and say, I can't do it. There's very many makeup artists in the market right now. Just don't say that. There's always something you can find that will make you unique from everyone else. Just find your niche and you'll stand out from everyone else. Yeah.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we take that break. When we come back, don't go anywhere in just a few minutes. Stacey here will be taking us through right from the start. Are you doing it on me?
I would like to do it.
All right, when we come back, so we'll try to do a sample of special effects makeup, things you see in movies, but you just don't know this is it. When somebody is hit or you know, on the face and then you see a mark, or somebody is shot, you see a bullet wound, or somebody is cut by a knife and you see it, and much more. It's not just about, you know, the harm that is done, but also so many other things that are also involved. So when we come back after the break, we'll be doing a sample of that, and you definitely do not want to miss this. See you on the other side.
Watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
From Nairobi, Kenya. This is EBN TV.
In a fast-paced world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters: your relationship with God. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we take you on a transformative journey of building your faith, without which it's impossible to please God. A journey of introspection and discovery of who you are in Christ Jesus.
For you to walk with God, you should not crumble when you come under pressure. Kama umeokoka, sema umeokoka mpaka mbele ya president, mpaka mbele ya chief justice, mpaka mbele ya kila mtu. Hiyo ndio kuokoka ya ukweli. Kuokoka ya ukweli.
Enjoy a faith-filled environment of worship and ministry of the Word every Tuesday and Thursdays from 9 a.m. with Reverend Felix Kevoy, exclusively on EBN TV.
That is the word of the Lord today.
You are watching EBN TV, transforming your world.
All right, so welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. We are still talking about special effects makeup, and I'd love us to now do a sample of it. We'll do a second-degree burn. When somebody has generally been burnt and it's been described as a second-degree burn. So how does it look like? So Stacey here will be taking us through it step by step.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm the model.
Thank you for being my model today.
Yeah. So let's get started.
So I think I'll just mention a few things.
Okay.
Okay, this is called latex, liquid latex. Latex is for creating the realistic wounds, cuts, and everything else.
Okay.
This is called a bruise wheel. It's for giving color to different wounds. Have different colors.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You also need foundation, again, makeup. Then this is called scar wax. This is also used to create wounds, scars, cuts. It's more realistic because it looks like our skin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for our wound today,
Yeah.
we are gonna need only latex, piece of tissue, a bit of cotton, foundation,
Yeah.
and the bruise wheel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we start?
Yeah, let's get started now.
Okay. First step is applying the latex on the skin, and I might add, some people could be
Depends on the
reactive.
shade of skin.
Some people, no, not really, but some people could be reactive to latex.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's always a patch test done. Yeah.
Does the color of the skin really matter though? Maybe that someone that's brown, the cut will look different.
That's where the foundation comes in. Yeah, after everything else that you've done, you have to cover up your wound with foundation to match the person's skin. Yeah. So we're gonna start just a little bit here. Latex takes a little bit of time to dry. That's why we carried our fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the longest, art you were working on? How long did it take?
How long? I think I'd say 2 hours, because I was made to create umbilical cord.
What? Really?
Yes, I had to recreate a umbilical cord. Yeah.
So it has to be dry before you start?
Yeah. The first layer, just a little bit, and then we're going to add bits of the tissue paper.
Yeah.
Then for the tissue paper, you have to scrape off the edges so that it's not really fine. Yeah, so that when you're blending in, it doesn't leave like a straight line. Okay.
I knew this one needs research. Because how as a beginner
You can't
don't know
just
these
do,
things.
yeah. I also tried doing it by myself, but then I didn't even know where to get products. YouTube, they're already telling you products you've never had before.
Yeah.
So it was a bit difficult. You just have to. Some people are self-taught. Yeah, some people
Just
are
learning.
Yeah,
Googling.
and
You're good to
Google.
go.
Yeah. For me, I just had to get the basic skills, and then from then on, it's just been me doing research every other time. So after that, we'll continue adding layers of latex. Sometimes people will get afraid of this makeup, but then you have to reassure them it's just makeup, especially when it's bloody, because most of SFX is bloody. Yeah.
I was actually going through your some of your work, and I could see literal horror there. And I kept thinking, now this, when somebody says, What's that?
That makes me
You've
happy.
achieved it.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
There's no
Some people do that.
Yeah, just depending on what
what I've created, yes. But most times I get DMs, people asking me what goes on through your mind when you're doing these things. I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I have to do this thing. I have to do this. Sometimes I have not even gotten it anywhere. It just came to me in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when your parents say this, what do they think about it?
At first it was, what, really, what's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah.
But then I had to explain to them it's just art, nothing else. So we'll apply the last layer of latex.
So without latex, you can't do anything?
You can. There's substitutes of latex. There's scar wax, there's silicone, there's a lot of things you can substitute. Actually, some people do create their own scar wax at home. You just mix Vaseline with flour, cooking, what is it called, baking flour. Yeah, and then you have your scar wax. Because like I said, the products could be a bit expensive. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the third layer, is it?
Yeah. So now we give it a bit of time to dry up.
Who would know these things if they don't go to YouTube or have somebody who teaches them?
Yeah. But YouTube is also a very good teacher for most things. Some of the research I do, I just go on YouTube. Yeah.
Or do you have your own YouTube channel?
No.
Why not? It should be there.
That should be a project for this year.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Sometimes set takes up a lot of your time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're working in a set, maybe 8 hours.
Yeah, 12 maybe.
And it's like a consistent month.
Yes. So when you get an off day, you really just want to sleep and rest. So the next thing, I have to return this because latex dries up.
Okay.
So the next thing we can do is add a little bit of cotton. Just a small bit. Okay. And then just gonna need a little bit of this just to lay down the cotton.
I can feel like it's dried already.
Yeah. Okay. Then next, we're gonna apply. We're gonna use our bruise wheel.
Okay.
So the first layer, we can use a little bit of brown. Just on the edges.
So as you do, or you're trying to create a particular, art, you need to know what colors.
Yes.
You want to, get as the end product.
Yeah. Because different stages of wounds have different looks. Yeah.
So is that knowledge that is just anywhere, or you need to now, understand this first degree burn, how does it look like,
Yeah, you have to understand, you have to look at, sometimes research involves looking at very disturbing pics. Yeah. Because it has to be as realistic as. So this is to show the illusion of the redness around.
The red skin now.
Yeah. Okay. And then we are gonna try and do a bit of this and this purple bit, just slightly.
I believe that the music industry should also accommodate more.
Yeah.
Okay, depending on what you're singing,
what your concept is.
What the concept is.
Yeah.
They should accommodate more of this.
Yeah.
Yep, I can see it coming.
It's coming.
Yep, I can see it now.
For this, you just need to take your time, no rush.
So if you know you're going to a particular set and they wanted, something that takes like an hour, how early?
You have to communicate that it takes time so that they give you
your time.
Your time, yeah. Because at the end of the day, this is your image. You have to protect it. Has to lift a little bit.
I really am burnt, aren't I?
Then for some bit of redness, we're gonna use just a little bit of fake blood, just a little bit. Sometimes people are afraid of this fake blood.
So this is not the fake blood,
yeah? Yeah. So you see why we were cutting the tissues, they don't look straight, so that they blend in with your skin.
Let it not be said, kwani ulichomeka tu straight.
Straight,
Yeah.
You have to be as realistic as possible. Again, sometimes you go through comments, people could be right, you can't know everything. So sometimes the comments, they really help us, yeah. So depending on the different stages of the wound, you can apply a little bit of yellow if it's in the beginning.
What does that mean? Like at the start, when it's just been burnt?
Yeah, it's supposed to give, not just burnt, like a few days, it's supposed to give the illusion there's pus. Yeah. And then a little bit of white to show how depth of how deep the burn went.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to
redo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just redo afresh everything.
Yes. Sometimes it's not even the director's call. Sometimes it's my call.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't like how it looks. Yeah.
And I can imagine, because looking at the example you gave of the first project you worked on, and just how viral it went, the number of people that were watching it.
Yeah.
So it had to be keen on detail. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But after, because the opening scene of the first movie I did was someone who had a nail on the head.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so some comments were, you guys should have put a disclaimer. For me, if you're complaining, it means I did a good job.
That one must have taken a bit of time, yeah?
That one took time. And then sometimes you face challenges. See, like this is wax, and we are doing it in the sun. It melts off. We redo. You just have to not be frustrated
and be patient.
You need, for this work, you need a lot of patience. Now for this ones, you just really need to take your time and focus on colors. Yeah.
Colors play a role.
A role, yes, a major role. Because now we could leave our wound like this if we wanted. We could add more color depending on how intense the director wants it or how me as Stacy wants it. So we're just gonna add a little bit of this and then we're gonna be done. Buns do not really have blood. I must add. But it's going to give us a little bit of redness.
So what's so different about the second degree burn and the first degree burn?
How it advances. When it's fresh, the skin is peeling off. Then there's a time where the skin could be watery, and then when it's healing, then the color changes. Yeah. So yeah, we could leave it at that. There are no edges. It's blended in with the skin nicely. Yeah.
Wow. Do you guys see that? It looks so real. I don't know if you can see it from back home, but it looks so real.
Yeah.
So what's the most interesting project that you've worked on that you said, ooh, this is it?
There's one where I was asked to remove, it was a torture scene, and the director needed us to pluck off someone's nail. That was very challenging for me because, again, I was very new that time. Yeah, it was my second project. I was very, very new. I couldn't say I've not done it.
So you just went, did your research?
The previous night. Then when I showed up on set the following day, I was...
you nailed it.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah, I nailed it. But also the director took me through a bit of the process. He really, really helped me. He challenged me a lot. Yeah.
Wow. So this is it. A burn itself, a second degree burn. For those wondering, no, I wasn't like this in the morning. It was just normal skin.
Yeah.
But this is what creating and recreating does. This is what special effects makeup does. It makes you see things that weren't actually there. And it's a lot of creativity actually. And this is just, one that takes a bit of a shorter time. Those that, go for quite long hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you give us your feedback from where you're watching us, from what you think. Is this something that you will definitely do? Is it, something that you would very much want to also learn? Stacy will be here. But because I'm being informed we're out of time, maybe as we wind it up, you know, what more do you think you can do? You know, obviously you do your research, you watch a lot of horror movies, as you've said, and there are these things that you'll say, one day I want to do it. So what are more of this you want to do as well?
I still feel like I need to go back to school because there are things I am not well versed on. Yeah, SFX is very big. There's prosthetics pieces, there's creating, I know life cast, I know you've seen the life, someone creating a life cast, like they'll take your belly, they put something on it, then it comes out exactly as it is. That's really something I'm interested in doing. Yeah,
so maybe you can get the final word as we wrap the show. Also give your social media platforms because we need that support for sure.
So my Instagram handle is Brianna _ K's _ artistry. I'm mostly active on Instagram.
So anytime somebody wants to call you for something, Instagram DM, that's it.
My email is also stacygishinjo@gmail.com.
All right, so thank you so much, Stacy, for coming in this morning to just explain to us a little bit more about SFX, special effects makeup. You know, we'd love for it to be accommodated more in the industry, as I've said. You know, in a musician, you're seeing a concept about something that, you know, needs this. These are the people that you need to go to, as well as, because I know the film industry is evolving. We're having a lot of actors coming up and directors and just projects and ideas. So if we can always get at least every movie that needs something like this, I'm sure a lot of special effects makeup artists would come in. So that is where I want to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. I've just been banned, you know, with makeup. So thank you so much for your support as always. Thank you for the feedback. We'll be looking forward to, you know, engaging with you throughout the day. If you've got any questions or any comments, any thoughts, or you'd love to reach out to Stacy, she's mentioned her Instagram page or her social media platforms, but also talk to us on our various social media platforms and we'll be able to connect you with them. So, oh, my bracelet is almost ruining my card. My God. So, there we go. As we close the show, that's a 2nd-degree burn. And it looks so real. I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but I think it looks so real that you think that I've actually been burnt. And that's just makeup. That's the power of makeup. So, ciao, goodbye. Thank you for your company. Till next time, I'm Cynthia Nanjala. Thank you so much.
Thank you.